Matt, which is Steve Wiley's grandson, is here and he'd like to speak. I asked him when he met Steve, but I think I know.
I met Steve very early. My name is Matt Laud. I'm Steve Wiley's grandson. It's funny you have him here today with a copy of his own book in this likeness. The one book I remember him buying and talking about a lot was a huge 30-volume copy of the Britannica Dictionary that he kept behind his desk. It'd be a lot to fit into one statue, though, so I guess this works. It's a real honor for me and my family to be here today on this occasion. I should say the person you know as Steve Wiley, my brother and sister and I called Baba, so that's what I'll call him. Baba was full of that weird, practical wisdom you can only get from a grandfather. It's a motorcycle. I remember he would drive me to parking lots around Morristown and we would pick up old cigarette butts together just to clean up. He was trying to instill some kind of sense of civic duty in me, but that didn't totally click when I was 5. But my relationship with him was great. I loved to be around him, and he was very indulgent of that. In my memory, he was often building something or making something, and he would give me something to do to help, and I would feel very important, even if I wasn't. I remember going swimming with him, and no matter how cold the water was, he would always say it was warm. Not just warm, but too warm. It was silly, but it was also a great example of keeping a good attitude. All you need is the right perspective. Even when he was stern or serious, which he could also be, this felt like the true version of him to me. In that way, he had the same effect on us grandkids that he had on everyone else, convincing us to see the promise of good things in the world. He gave people a sense of purpose and a sense that good things were worth doing. You wanted to do the right thing alongside him. Baba didn't make a big deal out of his accomplishments. I didn't learn he was in the state senate until I was in my teens, and I didn't learn about his advocacy for the school merger until my 20s. And when I did learn about these things, it was always from someone else, not him. Wherever we went together, everyone knew his name, and he knew theirs. They called him Steve, though, which was weird because his name was Baba. People just seemed to understand that he was an important and a good person and that he had been good to them. And even though he didn't show off, it was always clear to me why people felt that way about him. Anyway, my family couldn't be prouder of this. When we learned this was going to happen, we couldn't help but talk about how Baba would think this was too much attention and would probably say any regular Morristonian was at least as deserving of a statue as he was. He would want this day to be about the library and the people who come here. But we miss him more than anyone and are honored to be able to remember him in this way. So thank you.